I'm going to say a few things about Armbrust, Pennsylvania, which was not always Armbrust. It was one time Weaver's old stand, right here on the map. And to give a little bit of visual material in the background, while I'm speaking, I'm just going to put this on slideshow. The place has fascinated me for a while, and I've never really been able to find much of anything about it that was written. I mean, it's one of those places you drive through and you look around and you think, gee, I wonder why this place is here, what happened here? And then the idea of Weaver's old stand. Who was Weaver and what did he do? And the idea of an old stand is pretty much the place where someone had a business for a while. And all those things I really don't find written down anywhere. But the story, there are a few stories about Armbrust written, not written, but just kind of oral tradition kind of things. One of them is that it went back and forth between being Weaver's old stand and Armbrust, depending on just who was in political power at the time. Whatever party happened to be in control at the time, for some reason determined whether it was Armbrust or Weaver's old stand. And other thoughts that come to mind have to do with the idea that it was, again, one of those north and south kind of things, like the part to the north of Swickley Creek was more or less Armbrust, and then south of Swickley Creek was the place that had started out as Weaver's old stand. And the name Weaver, or Weaver's old stand, is probably the older designation. I mean, when you look at the maps, the older maps show Weaver. And as you look at maps through a period of time coming into the 20th century, you see the name Weaver disappearing and Armbrust becoming more prominent. The time around 1910 and into the teens was probably the time when Armbrust was the most populated. You can see that by mapping. And I think we're at a point right now where I should move over and do the thing of starting from this point where we look at the Hempfield. This is Hempfield Township, Greensburg, Weaver's old stand, down here. Even though the writing is over here, the actual place was over in Hempfield Township. Now, this is the oldest mapping that I've been able to find. This is from 1857, and it pretty much shows the physical structure of the place. It's laid out along this road, which goes the whole way over to what was once called New Stanton, but now is Old Stanton. It was called the Glade Path or Glade Road. It was also called the Clay Road. It was the path or road coming up from Somerset into Westmoreland. And right here, where it came across from Mount Pleasant Township into Hempfield, this is Weaver's old stand. And you notice the name Weaver right here. And you get the impression he was in business. Crossroads are always a place where a person is in business. And then when you go north of that, go right up north of Sewickley Creek, this is the area up here that seemed to have the name Armbrust attached, even though we have a Chambers up here. And you see S&G, this was a saw and grist mill right here, right beside the stream. This mapping is from 1867. This is the crossroads here with the Glade Road coming through. And you see a blacksmith shop right here. And you come up and you look around, and this is obliterated, but it says saw and grist mill right here on the stream. Right out the road a bit is a salt works where they were extracting salt from underground in the water and then boiling it down to have salt. Now, this mapping takes us to 1876, and you see the same structure laid out, the old Glade Road, blacksmith shop, store on the corner over here, and you see the Armbrust name starting to show up. Grist mill and sawmill right beside the stream. They were no doubt using water power. Salt works still out here, out the road. This just gives you context. Here's Armbrust right here. This is the township line. This is Youngwood over here. Just to give you how it fits into things. This is a nice old house, a log cabin, a log house rather, that is or was in Armbrust one time. This is a shot, black and white, from the air in the 1990s. Looking down on the center of Armbrust, this is where the Glade Path was coming across, 819 coming through. Right out here is the old Homestead Lane. And you see a very nice house that still sits there. And I think the last time I noticed, that place was for sale. This is what we were just looking at, right out here, the old Homestead Trail. As you come in this road, right on this corner, right before the bridge, this is a bridge over the Sewickley, we'll see next the post office. That's the Armbrust post office. And I was told that one time in that building there was a model of the building that had been Weaver's old stand. And maybe we've said enough here, and perhaps we can do another one sometime. And we'll shut this down and say so long for now. Bye.